right. Usually these podcasts start with, I'm Mary and I'm Carla and we're the Smiley twins, but today is very different. So I'm Mercedes. I'm the director of training, and strategic initiatives, and we have two of our Gallatin employees with us. So Jennifer is one of our RN injectors, and Ashley is an esthetician and kind of like jack of all trades. She does all kinds of stuff for us there. Jennifer, tell us a little bit about your background if you don't mind.
Hi. Hi, everyone. My name's Jennifer. As Mercedes said, I'm one of the clinic injectors in Gallatin. Um, my background mainly is emergency medicine. I started in the ER about 12 years ago as a new grad, and um, I think I worked there as long as I could. And after I had my little girl, I decided that I needed to have a change of pace and started working in aesthetics. I worked at one med spa before I came to Smiley, and I got this amazing opportunity to come open up the Gallatin location. And so that's what's bringing me here.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever asked you. Did you just like come upon your last aesthetics job, or when you were leaving the ER, you're like, oh, I'm gonna do aesthetics?
I mean, I always wanted to. I was like, okay, this is like goals, but obviously it's kind of hard to get into. And my husband is a CRNA and he happened to work with one of the doctors that was opening a clinic. So he's like, oh, hey, my wife, really likes aesthetics and he hired me. So got a good start.
You know what's really tough about working in aesthetics? I sit here looking at myself being like, wow, why is my face so asymmetrical? Terrible, absolutely terrible. What about you, Ashley? Tell us a little bit about your background.
Hey everybody, my name's Ashley. I am an esthetician. I've been an esthetician for 2 years. I was always a stay-at-home mom and always loved skin and everything to do with aesthetics. So I decided I was going to go to school and became an esthetician. And when they opened Gallatin, I decided to hop on the bandwagon and come in.
Wonderful. Okay, so we opened back in what, September? Is that right?
Yes, September.
Okay. Um, one of the big things that we really kind of want to like dive into today is, opening a med spa is not easy. It's a lot of work. There's lots of, hurdles and challenges. And so, some of these questions you guys are probably like, oh gosh, I don't want to answer that. But, we're really big about just trying to, learn from whatever we can to improve future processes. So I've got some questions here I do want to talk about. Let's see. Okay. What like unexpected operational hurdles do you guys, well, before I even go into that, when did you guys start and what was like actual opening day of the med spa?
Hmm.
Did anybody remember back that far?
My first day was Wednesday, September the 11th.
Okay.
I just forget that. Yeah, I can't forget that.
Ironically, September 11th is also my employment anniversary with Smiley Aesthetics, so we share that.
Aw.
That's if you ever need to remember mine, you can remember that for me. Perfect.
Yeah, did you start the same time?
No, I started a little bit after.
Oh,
I
that's
remember
right.
I had a talk with Carla and she's like, oh, well, we're going to be training with Mercedes. So y'all just pop in that day. And I came in and you were injecting and you had a baby with you.
And baby.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, okay, this is interesting. But got to spend some time with y'all and luckily got to come on after that. So I think I started
Okay,
like
yeah,
a
it's
week
coming back to me.
after. Yeah.
Yeah. But had we had our grand opening ceremony? No. Okay, so we still had a little bit of time. So at that, like, well, I mean, for both of you guys, so like Ashley, your first day that you actually came into the med spa, how much was done? What was left to still be completed for setting things up?
Honestly, it was just a few things in the rooms. Everything was pretty much put together. We didn't have like any, we had fillers and stuff like that. But we didn't have like Botox or anything. So it was pretty much just us waiting on all the products to get here before we could do anything.
Yeah, I do recall that now. It's I think I might have like blocked some of it out now that you're mentioning it. Okay, so let's talk about the actual grand opening day. What was that like? What did you guys love about it? What were you like, oh gosh, when we have another one of these, we might want to do this a little bit differently?
I remember it was a really busy day. Um, we injected right up until I think like 15 minutes before it was supposed to start. And they're like, okay, pictures, pictures. We were all trying to get ready to go. You weren't there because you were at an event in Mount Juliet, I
No.
think.
Yes, I was so sad. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Gallatin Chamber came and we did the ribbon cutting and
Hmm.
got to meet a lot of people, had some good food. Um,
Hmm.
I feel like it went good. It was raining, so I don't think we had as big of a turnout as we would have liked. But um, what do you think, Ashley?
Any,
I think so too. I think if it wasn't raining, we would have probably had more people turn out because people just weather is just something for people that turns them away.
yeah.
But it was a busy day prepping for it for sure.
So was there anything that you guys think that we could have done different to set us up for a little bit more success at, future Med Spa grand openings?
Um, I
That's
I don't
kind of a
know.
loaded question.
That was my first grand opening, so
Yeah, mine
That's
that was
fun.
mine first. That was my first too. I feel like maybe putting it out sooner than we did would have been one other thing.
Okay, so advertising a little earlier for it.
Like at least like 2 weeks in advance.
What about
Just so
like the flow during it? Like when people came in, like were they supposed to go somewhere, talk to somebody? Like what did they do? Because again, I wasn't there. What was it like?
We were basically just trying to catch people as they walked in. Obviously a lot of people knew Carla and Mary and Lori, so they were kind of coming in to see them. But yeah, we would just introduce ourselves, give them a little tour of the spa and tell them about, any services they had questions about. And then we had some prizes, like a drawing that they could enter.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to work on my questions to get some areas of improvement from you guys. So let's see what I can pull out now. Let's see. Let's look at it this way. So, and this is for both of you individually. How has your role at Smiley Aesthetics changed since the opening?
Um, a few things have changed for me. I was part-time, and the beginning of this year, I just started full-time. So I'll be here 4 days a week. Um, what else? It's been great working with Ashley, having an esthetician, to kind of collaborate with, and help with different skincare concerns. Um,
Mhm.
I haven't worked with an esthetician before, so that's really nice to have her expertise and opinion on everything.
Yeah, I agree with that. As nurses, we're not super good with skin, so I like that we have estheticians at some of our med spas now.
Yes, it's amazing.
What about you, Ashley?
I don't really know how to answer this question. I don't feel like my role has changed at all. I know things have shifted around a little, but I still feel like I'm in the same position that I was in. I always try to help wherever I can. Like,
I mean,
or when I
it's been a
can.
couple of yeah, it's been a
Yeah.
couple weeks since I've been at Gallatin, but I feel like you're just the behind the scenes helper, and I love that. So
Yeah, like
you're
I can't inject. I always try to do what I can if somebody else is doing something or to help or anything.
right. Okay, so what about any unique challenges that you guys faced in the first few months, and how did you overcome them?
Um, Obviously, I guess opening any spa, it's getting the new client-based customers in
Yeah.
here. So, community engagement, social media, just trying to get the word out that we're here.
Hmm.
That we're Smiley Aesthetics. We do injectables. We don't do teeth cleaning because, a lot of people have come in and asked for to get
Yes.
their teeth cleaned. Um, So I think that's kind of the biggest thing is just kind of, you know, building like relationships with the community, with patients, and um, trying to get them through the door, basically, is one of our biggest challenges. So,
Yeah, I agree. It's been huge, especially like the location. I mean, it's great. It's like right on the road from a crumble. It's like, in front of a grocery store, a movie theater, but it is kind of like slightly hidden by some trees. I feel safe when you're going down the road, but yeah. What about you, Ashley? Same unique challenges you would say, just getting clients.
I agree with that too. I've never worked at somewhere like a startup. I've always, where I worked, I just walked in and already had a base and didn't really have to do anything to get clients. So here it's a lot different because I feel like Smiley has really good pricing. And for the prices that we offer, we should definitely have more people just like flowing in. I feel like we have the best prices in town.
Yeah, and I mean, I think for you, as far as like a unique challenge, you came in and we were like, hey, so what supplies do you need? Like, we don't know what an esthetician needs. Like, can you tell us? Whereas you probably just had supplies there before.
But yeah. So I really was like, oh, well, I need this, 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 and this. And I was like, wait, maybe I'm asking for like too much, but this is like what I know that I have to have.
Yeah, I definitely stalking a new med spa was for me a different experience. I'm used to the things just being there. Let's see here. Okay, what's been the um what's the most rewarding experience with a client each of you guys have had since the med spa opened?
I would say one that I'm still working with. She's doing chemical pills and microneedling, and she's already seeing results and loving it. And just talking to her, she's so funny every time she comes in. But Jennifer knows what I'm talking about. But she's amazing, and she always is so happy when she comes in, and it just makes me happy to know that I'm helping her and that she's really seeing improvement and she's loving her skin more than she ever has.
Yes, that's huge. I don't know. Until I started taking care of my skin and I loved it, I didn't realize what a confidence boost it was. So yeah, that's amazing. What about you, Jennifer?
um, there's been a couple. I mean, I think, just building trust and credibility with clients or patients is so important. Um, I've had a couple of lip filler patients who have been really happy with their lips, which has been amazing, and referred other people in um, for me. So that's great. And then also just talking to like first time Botox people and helping them overcome like the fear of, injectables and explain everything. I think Ashley and I spent like an hour and a half one day with this first time to anything patient. She was just kind of going over everything and got her like a whole skincare plan down, and she was really excited about it. So,
Uh, yeah, I will say, I know it sounds silly to people, maybe not in our field, but helping someone overcome the fear to get the services, yeah, it makes a big difference.
yeah.
Okay, so y'all are gonna hate this question. You're gonna hate it. But if we could go back to September, what's one thing that you think, and as a group, like this is not, singular or like pointed at anybody, but just, as a group, as a company, what's one thing you think that we could have done differently um during that whole opening process?
Um, Planning and onboarding. It was
Yeah.
it's a little crazy.
Yeah,
That was
I
a lot
agree.
of figuring out and feeling that you might mess up, which I know with anything you can mess up, but you didn't want to mess up.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you gonna add that?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, 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 go ahead.
And learning a new EMR system is always hard because I had never used AR. I had Simplast, and I'm like, this is going to take a while.
So how do you feel with AR now?
I was getting used to it. Now I'm trying to get used to it again.
Always changing, ever evolving. Yeah.
Jennifer. And again, it's a loaded question. It's a tough one.
Yeah. I think, I guess one thing that was kind of hard, I think, for us as a group in the beginning, it was like everyone was here, all hands on deck. You know, we always had people around to answer questions. And then it's like grand opening, boom, it's just us. And it's like, oh, okay, well, what do we do now? You know? And so then it was really kind of like, you know, digging through like OneDrive and different things, trying to make sure that we have like all the policies and procedures down. So I think that the med spa playbook that we're doing is going to be really helpful for like the future, just for kind of organizing and onboarding.
Yeah.
I'll be helpful for it.
Yeah, well, those are two really good points of feedback. I just had a lovely brain fart. What was I going to ask you next? Oh, okay. So as far as like being in a community where Smiley has zero presence, what marketing or just like community events have you guys done so far that you think have been the most impactful or most beneficial for people learning about us?
I think that we're, you know, really involved with the Gallatin Chamber. And we did a Tinsels and Treasures event, which is a big community event for Christmas. It's for all the local businesses for Christmas shopping, and people start early. It has good deals, discount store prizes. We have an amazing store next door to us who sells, it's like a boutique that has all the great stuff in there. And so everyone was coming there. So I like opened the doors, set a table outside, and I was like, hey, come see me. I'm down here. Like, I think one patient even came in and told Ashley later, she's like, yeah, there was this girl and she was down there all by herself and I felt sorry. So I went to see her. So it's sorry.
Hey, whatever it takes, you
Right.
know?
I'm like, hey, I'm here. It's me. So I kind of like flagged people down. And so that it was on a Saturday. So that was a good event. We We've done a few other ones. I think, Ashley, you did the trick or treat one downtown.
Yes, and that was fun to get to see all the kids and the moms ask questions, and we passed out cards. I was at the Pilates event, and honestly, when we had went to downtown Gallatin and passed out cards and went and talked to people, I feel like that was really good too, because a lot of people didn't know Smiley or had seen it but didn't know exactly what it was, because a lot of people think we clean teeth and we don't do that. And a girl had came in that we had spoke with when we were downtown Gallatin, and she was super, super nice, and she wanted cards to pass out to her friends and some people that she knew. So I think things like that have went over really good.
I love it. Yeah, the events, I guess I didn't necessarily realize how like the tinsels and treasures, like how do people find out about these things, right? I mean, I know I don't live in Gallatin, but I feel like I don't even hear about this type of stuff in Mount Juliet. So it's exciting that those have been successful. All right, let's see here. What about any communication strategies that you guys have had to implement or anything like that that you think has, well, I guess maybe what was a struggle communication wise, and is there anything that you implemented to improve it?
I mean, I think Smiley as a whole, having the daily huddles where everyone can get together, see each other's faces. I think that, that's a great way to start the day, just to make sure that everyone has all the information they need. They're on the same page. And someone's always been available for us. It's really nice having like the support from everyone else in Smiley. If we need something, we can always find someone to answer our questions. As far as communication with like us internally, I don't feel like there have been that many issues. I don't know, Ashley, what do you?
I don't know. That's what I was thinking too. Like, I don't think there's been any issues. And obviously we went through some transition and changes, but I don't feel like communications had to like change or anything like that. It's been a smooth process with that.
Yeah, I feel like you guys have done pretty good with it. I don't, and you guys seem to like each other pretty well, which helps too. So,
Yeah. It's easy, both being moms and I guess having a lot in common. Yeah, we were both like, okay, I'm glad that we like each other or started. It wasn't like, oh, I hate to be around her. So that was good.
Jennifer, is there any specific advice that you could give to RNs wanting to get into the med spa industry, into the aesthetics industry?
Um, let's see. Go train with Mercedes at the training thing. I really did before I even started with Smiley. I saw stuff with y'all, and when people would ask me like where should they go train, I would literally tell people before then. I'm like, oh, Smiley Aesthetics has a training thing. Before I even knew you. But I think the biggest thing, is just you've got to find somewhere to like shadow someone, a mentor, someone to learn from. It's challenging, it's scary, but you just got to kind of stay consistent, continue studying and eventually just like start. You just got to like starting is the hardest part, I feel like.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, finding your
yeah. Yeah, for sure.
absolutely. So, what is something that you guys are excited for? Is there anything that's coming to Smiley Aesthetics of Gallatin that y'all are really looking forward to? Or heck, even if it's just like no changes, something like that.
The laser.
We're so excited.
Oh,
I went
Yes.
with lasers so much. I was like counting down the days till we got the laser because I like doing facials and everything, but I love a laser, love a microneedle any day.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're so excited for the alpha to be able to do IPL and hair removal, but we're really excited to be on the IPL treatments. We're super excited that Ashley's going to come train with us next week. And then I think Ashley got to do her first consult with Dr. Noah for the Cosmetic Surgery Center
Oh,
yesterday.
Yes, that was
So that's
fun.
exciting too.
okay, that's right. So Dr. Noah's coming, what is it, one day a week?
On Tuesdays. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, what was that like? Did you just kind of hang out and listen?
Yeah, I just kind of like shadowed him to know like how we're going to be doing everything because I've medical assisted too. So kind of, and I've been on the other side of an exam before too. And so it was neat to be on the other side of it and know like what to ask. And honestly, I think that's going to be a fun process too, to go through that and help people because so many people want to fix things and there's always a starting point and figuring out what you need. So I'm excited to do that. I think that'll be a really big thing for Smiley as well.
You know what's funny, and maybe Jennifer can relate to this, but like as an ER nurse, and it was not the providers. It was just like if something ever happens to me, don't take me to the ER that I work at. Like, I don't need my coworkers like seeing my naked body. But here it's kind of like, well, okay, let's do it. I take me back for a tummy tuck, Dr. Noah. Come on, I'm ready.
Right? We were talking about that this morning. We're like, oh, well, if we get something done, we can just be like the stand-in models right there and be like, okay, so here's his work. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm like after 3 kids, I have some things like up top that need some work.
I debated making a fake Instagram account and applying for the free surgery. I was like that. I would get in so much trouble, but yes, super, super excited about our what do we call it? Surgery, cosmetic surgery center. Yes, those are the words. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I mean, I know that I know both of you were super excited to do this today. Not nervous at all. But I feel like I've probably pulled all the teeth that I can. Is there anything in particular you guys can think of any words of wisdom, anything you think you would like to share?
I feel like with anybody going to aesthetics or going into it, it's a slow process and just be patient because also with starting new, it's going to take time. And I feel like a lot of people give up during that point or feel like it's a struggle, but you'll get through it.
Yeah, that's true. That's really good advice. she's gonna get me with her dagger eyes in a second.
I'm trying to think of something. I guess the other thing I can say is just kind of like, be able to put yourself out there. It's hard to in the beginning because you're learning, you're new, questioning a lot of things. It's just like building that confidence, creating a brand for yourself, and just saying, okay, I'm going to do it and put yourself out there, and take the next steps to, keep moving up and learning.
Ooh, okay. So I love that. And that actually did generate a new question. How do you feel like you have, what am I trying to say? Social media. Some people really love it. Some people are not a fan of it. I think I can safely say all three of us are not a huge fan of videoing ourselves and putting it out there. So what's the best advice you have for someone starting an aesthetic to load the social media?
Ashley and I have been talking about that a lot this year. One of our goals is to be more present on social media, as like on our personal pages and on Smiley. I'm trying to get our daughter to come in and teach us more about it because I feel like
That's great.
we have a lot of, we make it way harder than it should be, basically. But sorry, what was the question again?
Like for those that really just you're so like me, I love it. For those that just hate social media, and you're in a job where like okay, as nurses, being on social media is not a requirement. And then you come into aesthetics and you're like, oh, I kind of need to do this if I, want to be out there. So what's the best advice you have for overcoming just the amount of hatred that most of us have for social media?
I think it's just one of those things that kind of comes with this, it's like, I think Adrienne, whenever she comes here, she always makes us do like a silly reel or something on social media. And she's like, you just have to do it. And you just don't care, just do it, So it's just people want to see you. They want to see, things that are going on in your life, things that they can relate to. And then we're in a society now where tons of people, they go to social media to find their injectors, to find med spas. So it's also showcasing your work on there befores and afters. And just being able to stay consistent with it. Consistency, I think, is a big thing. And that's something that, I have to get better about. It's like you can't just post once every couple of weeks, Yeah, it needs to stay consistent. I guess those are some of the things that I think are important.
Did both of y'all get any aesthetic treatments prior to working in the aesthetics industry?
Yes.
Did you look up your person on social media?
Yes. And I always picked the one who had like a picture with a dog or like a football team that I liked, something like that.
Mine was Google. Mine was Google. I didn't do social media. I did Google. I went based off reviews. I was like, I'm like a grandma. I'm over here looking.
That's me. Yes, I'm the Google review reader. But Ashley, I think we have to have a follow-up question for Jennifer. If their before and afters were terrible, but they had a photo with their dog.
Well, obviously, no. I had to like find the right place. But like when you find the place that you're going to go to and you have the injectors to choose from, it's like, okay, let me go look at their bios, see if they like animals or not. I've got to check all that stuff out.
Do you have pictures with your dogs on your injector account?
I don't. I need to.
Oh, you're gonna have to help do it.
Yeah, we've got to get all that on there.
You gotta find your people.
Yeah, because that's important. That's got to have something to talk about.
I know. Honestly, that's what I talk about with like 98% of my clients.
I know. The dogs. Yeah. Not the kids, it's the dogs. For sure.
I love it. All right. Well, yeah. So I think I was like, oh, any last words of wisdom? And then I was like, actually, never mind. I have a question. So I'll go back to it. Any last words of wisdom? Anything you guys haven't shared yet that you wanted to share? They probably want to know where the panic button is.
Right. I think just with opening a new business, you have to be adaptable, and able to kind of roll with the changes and understand that it's a process and there's going to be challenges, but you're going to get growth. We've already seen so much growth from October to November to December. Every month, we're continuing to get more patients and we're retaining a lot of them. So hopefully that's just going to continue into the new year.
I
And
love that.
we'll continue to get more people and grow.
Hmm.
I agree with that. Because aesthetics itself is hard. There's one like every mile. So you just have to be different and stand out because everybody has their own way of doing things. And I feel like that's just the one thing that gets people in is just communication and doing it differently.
What's your secret? What do you do different, Ashley?
Honestly, I feel like I just talk and I'm down to earth to people and I don't try to like sell them on anything. I just try to talk to them, get them out of their shell because they're just as nervous to come in to get something done as like, as anybody else. So just talking to them, opening them up and just being down to earth and making them feel comfortable. And if they have questions, explaining everything, because a lot of people just, it's in and out. And just having that time with them, even if you go over your allotted time, you're still giving them the time. They feel like they were valued and not just, you got them in, got them out, bye, see you later kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And if once you have a facial from Ashley, like you're hooked. That's it. Like you're never gonna go anywhere else. And I was so like ticked off when our time was done. It was just like, I'm not ready for this. So I will be coming to see you again. And then for real this time, for real, last question. What are each of your favorite services like to get yourself?
I love Scarlet. The Scarlet radio frequency microneedling is amazing for your skin, especially my skin. It's helping with my acne scarring, texture, tone, pore size. We were just looking at pictures of me from September and yesterday, and it's crazy how much my skin has changed, over the past few months. And I think a lot of that is due to Scarlet. So that's always my go-to for anyone who is kind of looking to get into any of the treatments. If they don't want injectables, that's a great way to start.
I had a strong suspicion that was going to be your answer. I don't know Ashley, so I'm interested to hear.
Honestly, only thing I've had since I've been here is the Aqua Firm that you gave me and Botox. That's all I've had. Yeah, and I need to get some other things done.
She won't let me. I've tried.
Well, we're just gonna have to put her in restraints and go for it. I think so. All right, perfect. Well, thank you guys for your time today. So this podcast will be dropping on Sunday at 10. You can check us out on I think you can find us on like the podcast app, Spotify, YouTube, and all the other places that podcasts occur that I can't think of at the moment. But yes, that is where you can find us. All right, everybody have a good week.
Awesome. Thanks, Mercedes. Bye.
Bye.